And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here to race number 10 of the second season of the NASCAR Busch Series powered by the WRA. Sorry if the commentary is not going to be good. I'm still in recovery of my voice being gone since last week as I'm recording this, so please do not make any jokes or anything that is necessary. This is not usual for me to lose my voice, but you can tell the allergies have been an issue for me. So I'm going to just do the best I can during this race to talk about the commentary. So, like I said, the commentary may not be good because I'm still recovering from allergy issues. So, please forgive me on that. On the pole position is Courtney Lynn in the number 98 machine. Courtney Lynn comes into this race in the 18th position at points. She dropped 4 spots after last week's race at Lemon in New Hampshire. She's alongside a K Amirmoez in the number 10. Katsuro comes in this race third in the points table. M Le Fay is nearing that 30th in the standings cut line in row number 2, 29th in the points, only 9 points up, or correction, 11 points above the 30th in the standings cut line. And Lauren Grubius, who failed to qualify for the Winston Cup race, she is in starting fourth. She's also nearing 30th in the standings, comes this race 27th in the points. So a couple of drivers really need to have a good result here today. It looks like I'm going to have to restart the race because somebody had a brake issue. So we'll show you the rest of the starting lineup for today's race. I want to make sure everybody is rolling out on the track. Yes, like I said, I do sound like a dead horse got ran over here today. So, like I said, please forgive me. As the cars have now rolled out onto the track, Ashlyn Wright is the points leader by 4 points over London Jackson. Katsuro is 6 points back, third in the standings. Summit Ozkan, 22 back, fourth in the standings. Daniel Gitiroyk, 34 points back in fifth. J Palmer dropped 4 spots down to sixth in the standings. Luna Farmer is seventh, 44 points back. Quinton Moore, 60 points back in eighth. Emily Green, 61 back in ninth. And airing 70 points back as the tie for 10th between Morgan Le Fay, T Tupola, and Marcus Sellers. Time for the running of the. As the green flag is in the air, we're underway here at Dover. It's the Bet Rivers 200 here at Dover. Good start for Courtney Lynn as we're going down the back straightaway for the first time today. Again, forgive me if the commentary is not going to be good, but I'm going to do the best I can. And also, I'm recording this at almost 3 in the morning, so please forgive me. Hopefully, I'll have my full voice back and not sound like a dead horse. As Courtney Lynn led the first lap of this race. J Bodine was now in second place with Katsuro in third, Lauren Grubius and Ari Springer, who raced her way into the go qualifying session we had yesterday during pole day qualifying. Quentin Moore is all over the Alltel Dodge. Courtney Lynn, coming off of turn number 4, will lead that lap. Let me turn my TV down so it's not too loud for y'all. That's a little bit better. Courtney Lynn just somebody came to pit road. I don't know who that was. Oh, it's Kyle Langland. He's a lap down. Oh, he's got some damage to the left front of the Dr. Pepper Dodge. Look at that. Yeah, you can definitely see some damage on that 26 machine. So he and another driver must have gotten together, and somehow it has not brought out a caution. That's a tough break for Kyle Langland. Kyle Langland came in this race 19th in the points. So this is not the run Kyle was hoping for. As now he's back out on the track. As they have finally got the damage fixed on his Dodge. Not a good day for the 26 team. They're definitely going to be off the pace. I don't know if Kyle got turned by somebody or made contact with another car, but if we get a caution or whenever we get a chance, we'll go back and look at a replay to find out what happened to the Dodge of Kyle Langland. But that is a tough break for our friend Teal Hedgehog. Kyle's not going to get in Courtney Lynn's way, so Kyle's going to be a good lad moving out of the way for Courtney Lynn. Courtney Lynn, our winner from Texas a couple of weeks ago. You know, I'm thinking while Courtney Lynn's leading, let's go ahead and look back at a replay to find out what happened to Kyle Langland and why he got damage. He was running in I think this happened on lap number 3, if I'm correct. No, on lap 4. Oh, he got together with Zach Foster. That's what happened. Looks like Zach Foster got a bit tight coming off the corner and pushed up. So there's probably some damage to the 83 machine. I thought for a second I saw some black smoke. Yep, right there. I thought I saw some black smoke. So Kyle Langland, as we're looking at Wanda McBride making her debut. There's the left side damage on the Mr. Clee Car Wash Dodge, or Chevrolet, excuse me. Like I said, I'm still not feeling 100%, so if I screw up on my commentary, I'm sorry. Plus, it's also almost 3 in the morning. I'm recording this race, so you guys can forgive me on that as we're looking at Nathan Stapleton in the 23 making his Busch debut. He made a debut race in Winston Cup earlier this year. So Nathan Stapleton looking to try to improve on his Cup debut. The better result here is we're looking at Phelan Bradley at the 09. Phelan is making I believe he's making his debut as well. Yes, he is. Or no, I'm sorry, he's making his third start. Just remember, he's not 18, so he can't run the track we're going to next week, which is Darlington. I know we'll see his sister, Carolina Bradley, in the Winston Cup race next week as we're looking at T Tupola, Abigail Stone in the 60. There's Olivia Jackson, Luna Farmer right behind Bora Park, and Ashlyn Wright. Park and A Wright ran the truck race here yesterday. There's the gal we got to keep our eyes on, Brenda Eveling, the 87. Brenda is in that critical 30th in the points table. The good news for her, the gal that was trying to run her down for 30th in the points failed to qualify. Right behind Ellie Rose in the 71. There's Lauren Grubius in the 43. Alex Winters right behind Wanda McBride, making her Busch debut. Maisie Creighton ran the truck race yesterday and now making her Busch debut in the 90 City Financial Ford out of Robert Yates Racing. Jake Littletown, don't know why I have an R next to his name. He's not. Well, actually, he is not a rookie. I don't know why I have an R. I should have. I think that was a little. I think that's a little mistake. I'll take the R off when I get the points put in, so I apologize for that mistake. I forgot Jake Littletown ran last season of this series, so he shouldn't have an R next to his name, so that's my fault there. Then again, this is what happened when I'm trying to recover from the sickness I'm dealing and also recording this at 3 in the morning, so... As I'm recording this, it's almost been a week since I started feeling like this crap. So, just bear with me. Hopefully I'll sound better for before tomorrow's Winston Cup race. There's Quentin Moore in the 89 trying to run down the Bryans Meet Chevrolet out of Michael Waltrip Racing. Quentin comes in this race 8th in the points. Courtney Lynn, we've already talked about. She is 18th in the points. Courtney Lynn's led the most laps out of anybody in this series, those that are in and outside the top 30 in driver points. Prior to today, Courtney Lynn has led a total of 106. The next most is Brady Columbus, who's led 105 laps all season. And Quinton Moore has taken the lead. Quinton Moore did not qualify for the Cup race tomorrow afternoon. Courtney Lynn was not entered in the Cup race. Christian Williams was in the 25 car this week, but failed to qualify. There's Summit Oskin. 2 weeks in a row. It's been a rough couple of weeks for Summit Oskin and his teams. One of his drivers failed to qualify, and then Oskin and his two teammates that are in the races don't have good results. And last week, Oskin failed to qualify for the truck race. His two teammates had issues, and then Oskin did not qualify for the truck race here at Dover, and his two teammates didn't fare much better. So Not sure what's going on over at Ozkan Motorsports, but hopefully they'll get something together as Alex Winters in the Dollar General Chevrolet right there. Alex Winters comes into this race 21st in the points, dropped 9 spots after last week at Loudon, New Hampshire. There's J.J. Palmer in the 33, currently in the 8th position right now, as my nose is starting to get runny again. I hate runny noses. J.J. Palmer comes in as race 6th in points. Like I said, he was 2nd in points entering last week at New Hampshire and then had a poor finish. As Quinton Moore has caught up to Kyle Langland in the 26. That will put Kyle now 5 laps down as a result. So Kyle's already having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day at Dover. And hopefully Kyle doesn't fall out of the top 30 in the points. He was 53 points ahead of 30th in the standings coming into this race. I'd be a little concerned about where he would finish. As Quinton Moore, currently your race leader, we've had two different leaders, Quinton Moore and Courtney Lynn. Quinton Moore has done a good job qualifying this car into every race. Got himself into the top 30, now running for the championship. Hasn't done much better in trucks or cup, where he's outside the top 30 and top 35 in those two series. So this is the only series he's running full time for the points championship. Taking a look at the rear of the field, Mohammed Zain. Excuse me. Brad Blackman making his return to the Busch Series. He was a playoff contender last season, made the playoffs, got eliminated in round 1 of the playoffs. Excuse me. Moore Park, behind Callie Springer and Tyler Ware. Ricky Cervantes, Gabe Litton, Emily Green, Thriller Tadwell. There's Jamie Bodine in the 9. Gitiroyk not doing well. I'm surprised Zach Foster's keeping up with the leaders, to be quite honest with you, with all that left side damage on his car. But the problem is when he comes to make a pit stop, he's going to be definitely off the pace because remember, they're going to spend a lot more time repairing the damage on his car, and everybody else's cars are clean. So they're going to have a faster pit stop. As we're looking at the points leader, Ashley Wright, who's running in 19. She came as race as your points leader. We are right now in the window for these drivers to make it the rest of the way. Quentin Moore, the race leader. Right now, good run for as we got something flashing. Kyle, okay, never mind. I thought something's no, okay. I'm just seeing things. It started flashing for whatever reason. I don't know what. As Quentin Moore, currently our race leader, we're nearing lap number 46 of this race. Still a long way to go. After this race is over, I'm going to bed. Quentin Moore is leading this race here. I should also mention yesterday in the truck race, we had green flag pit stops, and then the caution came out, which really changed the complexion of the race right after drivers already made pit stops. But within 120 laps, this is 140 laps, so we'll have to see if that will be a different case here at Dover this weekend. We're already halfway through a fuel run. This is more than likely going to be the same distance we're going to have in the race at not April, excuse me, at the other 1 mile track, that being Hillside. So next week we'll have pole day qualifying at 7 p.m. Eastern for the Truck Series drivers. That'll be on Wednesday evening at 7. We're going to be at Darlington. That will wrap up the first part of the regular season. We'll have pole day qualifying for the Busch at 5, the truck race at 7. Winston Cup will have qualifying at 5, 7 p.m. Busch race, and then 7 p.m. Saturday night for the Cup race before the Cup drivers head to Daytona for All-Star Race weekend, which will only be just those drivers because there won't be any points on the line. It's going to be for the All-Star Race. And tomorrow's race and next week's race at Darlington will be it for the All-Star Race, as we'll find out who'll be locked in the show and who's going to have to race their way in. Now, there is going to be some drivers that will have to fill in for some drivers that are not in the All-Star race, like Jared Johnson, who's the defending winner of the All-Star race back in season 1. As we got a wreck over in turn 3, and that was Bryce Blackwood, and that was Bora Park. And this happened right in front of the leaders, as now they're 3 wide. Guessing the tires are starting to go away on those cars and starting to ruffle each other up. Don't want to wreck in front of Quentin Moore. That's the last thing Q-Man needs. And Quentin Moore, who's our only leader other than Courtney Lynn, doesn't want to have a wrecked race car. But getting back to what I was saying, as Tyler Ware will now go a lap down as a result. But as I was saying, Jarrett Johnson, Hannah Smith, who are two of the drivers that will be locked in the All Star race, they don't have an All Star ride, but that will probably get handled next week. Before next week, because Jarrett Johnson is locked in because he won the All Star race last season. And then Hannah Smith, we saw her win a race in the second half of the regular season. Which I'm actually going to look that up right now. Her win was at a track we'll be going to later in the year, Kentucky. And with Quentin Moore stuck in lap traffic, that's allowed Jake Littletown to catch up. And you see the 91's already caught Muhammad Zain. And he's just reeling in the Racing with Jesus Ford. So we're coming up to the midway point of this race. You can tell times are now 2 seconds slower than when they had fresh tires. So it says to me the tires are really starting to go away. And remember, it's 60 degrees, sunny skies, track temperature is about 85 to 90 degrees, around that range. So with the sun beaming down on the track, it's slick. Track has less grip despite the cooler temperatures, and these cars are getting tighter and tighter as this run goes on. As we got more lap cars, as everybody's still trying to get around Kyle Langland. Remember, Kyle's off sequence with these drivers because he came to pit road on lap number 4, so he's about 30 something laps short unless we get a caution. And he's only multiple laps down. Everybody else is like 1 lap down. Oh, we got a crash. We got a crash. I see skid marks on the back straightaway. I don't know who it belongs to, but the caution is not out. The caution is not out. But the 81's on pit road. That's Tyler Ware. I'm wondering if he had something to do with the. Yeah, he's got damage, just like what we saw with Kyle Langland. Did we have crash? No, we did not. Okay. I was just seeing things. I heard someone had some scraping, as a lot of drivers got some right side damage on their machines. Zach Foster's now got it on both sides, as we're looking at Addison Peterson, who ran the truck race yesterday. So the race is still green. Let's take a look at a replay and find out what happened to Tyler Ware. Now he's out of the race. He's out of the race. So he will be our first retiree. Let's see what happened here. Looks like he got the wall and then nowhere for Jake Littletown to go, and right in the wall goes the Menards Chevrolet of Tyler Ware. That's a lot of damage. I thought they were going to get his car fixed, but unfortunately, it looks like too much damage for him to continue. And he came in this race 25th in the points. This is not what Tyler Ware needed. And now he's just like that. He's now the first driver out of this race. So it looks like that hit, and that was with a safer barrier, whereas Kyle Langland hit it with a concrete wall. But that doesn't understand why there's some skid marks on the back straightaway. As we're going to put it on none. See if there's a reason why there's smoke on the back straightaway. Let me see if we can find out where the smoke came from. Yeah, there's the smoke. Trying to figure out where those skid marks came from. Oh, there it is. It was actually from Tyler Ware. Okay, so that's where the skid mark. Okay, so it's Tyler Ware skid marks. Okay, sorry. As we're now past the halfway more of this race, and Quinton's in heavy traffic, and Jake Littletown's slowly trying to reel in Quinton Moore. And now Kyle Langland has passed Tyler Ware, so Tyler's going to finish in last. Now, we saw this in our truck race yesterday. Some drivers did the undercut. I'm starting to think we're probably going to see that in not just this race, but also tomorrow's Winston Cup race. Because the undercut was really a good strategy. As that's Daniel Gitiroyk, they're getting ready to put a lap down. Marco Diaz, he's got some right side damage on his race girl Chevrolet. Gitiroyk's the last car on the lead lap. So suspension problem is why Tyler Ware is now out of this race. Wonder if anybody has made the undercut. There's Courtney Lynn. She's dropped to 7th. So the handling has really gone away on that machine. Cat Zero's gone by. Alex Winters. Looks like everybody's coming to pit road. They're just going slow on the racetrack. Brenda Elin having a good run in 8th. Up, got some pit stops. Zach Foster's coming to pit road. I think he's developed a tire rub on his car. Here comes the 38 in. Now, let's be careful not to cause a pit lane collision because of how narrow these pit boxes are. 91's in. That's Jake Littletown. So some of the leaders are coming to pit road. Caution! Caution's out. Oh, Ashlyn Wright's wrecked. That's the points leader. That's the points leader, and that's going to trap some drivers a lap down. The caution is out for the first time today. That is not what any of these drivers who just came to pit road wanted to see, because that has trapped some drivers a lap down as a result. So the caution out on lap 81, those drivers have not pitted. They're going to come to pit road, get a free pit stop. But the points leader and the rookie of the year points leader involved as the cautions out for the first time today. Let's jump back, look at the replay to find out what happened to Ashlyn Wright. Well, you can tell tires were definitely wearing a lot. She was running 22nd at the time. Looks like she got up in the wall like what we saw with Tyler Ware. Emily Green had nowhere to go. And into the wall goes the Mikasuki Dodge. And Ashlyn couldn't save her car, and the officials had no choice but to throw the caution. That's a tough break for the gal that was the points leader coming in this race. And we'll have to see of how bad the damage is, whether she's going to be up to speed or not. And we'll also find out where the gal that was trying to run her down for not just the rookie points lead, but the overall points lead's at when we head back to green here at Dover. Well, excuse me. Great way to start coming back to the restart, boys. This cough's been a problem. Anyway, getting ready to go back to green on lap 84 of 140. As you can tell, Jake Littletown is not the leader. Quentin Moore is the race leader, but where is Quentin Moore, you ask? All the way right behind Daniel Gitiroyk. So all of these cars on the inside line are on the tail end of the lead lap, as that caution really screwed a number of drivers over. Hopefully they'll get a caution and get back on the lead lap. Q-Man is the leader. Gabe Lipton's supposed to line up on the inside line. I'm not sure why he's not doing that. Same with Ricky Cervantes. Xavier Alsop is second. Ashlyn Wright's also going to get a black flag for not lining up on the proper lane. JJ Palmer is third. K Amirmoez, Wanda McBride, Maisie Creighton, Luna Farmer, Salman Ozkan, Rosalinda Messon, and T Tupola. That is your top 10. But I would not be surprised if the black flag came out for a couple of drivers lining up on that in the wrong lane, thinking they're on the lead lap when they're actually a lap down as we're back to green. And I bet those three will be asked to see the officials for an improper lineup on that restart. Probably they'll just get a warning, if you ask me, for that little mistake. Nobody out of the race from that incident, thankfully. We mentioned Ashlyn Wright's and had troubles. She is now one lap down in 32nd, trying to get back on the lead lap. The gal that's trying to up, and as soon as I say that, Ashlyn Wright's going to have to come to pit road. The gal that was trying to run her down for the points lead, running in 14th, that is London Jackson. Second in the rookie of the year, second in the overall points. It's like Jamie Bodine got black flag for something. I'm not sure what. I'll have to check and see what he got black flag for. I don't know if he lined up on the inside line properly. You notice that little 6 on the deal? That's his Winston Cup. No, he just came to pit road. I really don't know what the black flag was for. As Quentin Moore is trying to lap some of the drivers that are ahead of him on the lead lap. Maisie Creighton had an unscheduled pit stop. There she is coming out of the pits. She is now one lap down. So I'm not sure what happened to Maisie. I don't know if she had a tire going down or something. That's a tough break for her. Zach Foster has now went a second lap down, about to go 3 laps down. So not sure why Bodine came to pit road, and I don't know what happened to Maisie Creighton, why she came to pit road, unless she picked up a puncture. That would be the only thing I would understand why she came to pit road. Jamie Bodine, I didn't understand that. And I don't know why the one car came to pit road. I mean, because they must have fixed the damage, unless her crew, unless the officials didn't like the repair job they did on that one car. That would be my guess. Not trying to pick sides here. But nevertheless, it's played a huge monkey wrench in terms of the championship. So this caution really hurt a number of drivers in the process. It benefited some, it didn't benefit others. Right now, when Gitiroyk does go a lap down, we'll be down to 27 drivers on the lead lap. We still have all 41 of the 42 drivers running. And the only one now out of the race is Tyler Ware. Of course, Tyler Ware's incident did not bring out a caution along with Kyle Langland's, because neither car lost control. They kept it straight. Whereas Ashlyn Wright, who brought out the only yellow of the race, was turned around facing the wrong way, and that's why the officials had no choice but to throw the caution. And it really changed the complexion of this race, because we were hoping for green flag pit stops to see who is going to have the faster car on the long run, but that is not going to happen, which is a darn shame, to be honest with you. And for those drivers that qualified into the Cup race, what are they going to learn to help them out tomorrow? And I'll have to see who made the Cup race. Tatum Wright's the only one in the Cup race. And I believe she is the only one in that race. Of course, Carlos did not qualify. He ran the truck race. So Carlos will use what he learned from the truck race, help him out on the Cup side. Same with Michael Brown. Quentin Moore did not qualify for the Cup race, so it doesn't matter what Quentin Moore does right now. And I believe some of Summit Ozkin's drivers that are in this race, I believe, I'm going to double check. And no, none of Summit's drivers made the show. Summit did not qualify for the Cup race. Should also mention we're going to have a new race winner here at Dover, because the defending winner of this race is in the Cup Series. That is Lucy Myers. The car that she drove to go to victory lane in this race 1 season ago did not qualify for the race. That was Amy, don't help me, I can find it in the points. That was Amy Hicks, but she failed to qualify for this race. So we're guaranteed a new winner. Of course, you will see Lucy Myers and the other 41 drivers tomorrow afternoon in the Cup race. Hopefully, Ashlyn Wright can bounce back tomorrow afternoon. She's been doing good over in the Cup Series the last couple of weeks. Ever since getting in the top 35, of course, she's 2 laps down in 39, so she'll look for a bounce back tomorrow afternoon. And she's the only one out of the 42 drivers in this field. She's the only one that's doing triple duty. Carlos Rodriguez did not qualify for this race. Michael Brown did not qualify for this race. They ran the truck race. So they will be in tomorrow's Winston Cup race. So they're going to have to learn what they learned from the truck race. That will help them out on the Cup side. Plus, let's also not forget, it's going to be an extra 20 laps longer for the Cup race, 160 laps to be exact. And we usually see the Cup race be a lot longer, and it could be, we could end up having more cautions in tomorrow's Winston Cup race. Good run for Wanda McBride. Also, J.J. Palmer in second. Fourth is Rosalinda Masterson. She's having a quiet run. Excuse me. 24th of the points for Rosa. She really needed a good run. Zach Foster's off the lead lap. Cat Zero is running in fifth. Nathan Stapleton in sixth. Xavier Allstop in seventh. Ozkan is eighth. Ellie Rose is ninth. Luna Farmer 10th. Of course, Luna didn't qualify for the Cup race, so she's already had some extra track time before the Busch race. And of course, if you didn't tune into Winston Cup qualifying, Luna Farmer will be racing for $1 million when we get to Daytona in a couple of weeks. After she qualified her way in due to a win last week at Loudon that got her first career win in her third career start. And there's been some rumors from World NOS Racing that she might go Winston Cup racing next season. Which, if you believe the rumors, and the caution is out. That's a huge break for Daniel Gitiroyk. That is not what Quentin Moore wanted to see. As we're going to see what the yellow is for, and why is whoa, Quentin Moore just ran the back of Daniel Gitiroyk for some reason. I don't know what that was all about, but the yellow is out for the second time today. Amazing. Creighton ran in the back, and Quentin Moore's pitting again? Do they feel like they can't make it on tires? I don't understand this at all. Stapleton looks like he's going to stay out, and he'll more than likely take the lead. But let's jump back, look at a replay to find out what brought out this second yellow here in the late stages here at Dover, excuse me. Well, it's not a good day if your sponsor is Mikasuki. And the other Mikasuki car, Phelan Bradley, looks like he got the wall, came down to Nathan Stapleton and in the inside wall. Goes to 0-9 out of James Finch, and yep, right in the middle of the racetrack. I bet you the officials had no choice but to throw the yellow, but that's a tough break for Phelan Bradley. Qualified his way into the race, not having a good run, and he's on that number in the points, so definitely not what he needed. As the yellow's out for the second time today. Let's get to the restart here at Dover. Well, I thought Nathan Stapleton was the leader, but I didn't realize Rosalinda Masterson was actually going to be the race leader, so I apologize about that. But then again, this is what happens when I'm recording at like 3:30 in the morning. Nobody out of the race after that incident. Some interesting strategies here. Rosalinda Masterson is the leader. Nathan Stapleton in second. Xavier Allstop in third. Ellie Rose fourth. Luna Farmer fifth. A Amirmoez sixth. Alex Winters seventh. Ricky Cervantes, 8th. He will be asked to see the stewards after the race. 9th on back, they came to pit road. J.J. Palmer and Quentin Moore, the top 10. So I really am questioning that strategy of why you come into pit road. I mean, you had enough gas to make it the rest of the way, unless they felt like they couldn't go the rest of the way on tires. But then again, you went about 70 something laps on your first set. I bet you a lot of drivers in the Winston Cup Series are definitely paying attention to this, because this could be a tire strategy this weekend, even though we may make it on fuel for a pit stop. I'm wondering if tires could be a factor in tomorrow afternoon's race. We'll have to see as we're back to green here at Dover. And looks like trouble for Brenda Evening. The engine has appeared to have let go on that 87. She was coming to the restart. Oh, she did not need this. But remember, she is ahead of the cut line. Hopefully they can get whatever issue is fixed, or they're going to probably push her back behind the wall and join Tyler Ware, who's the only one out of the race. By the way, he has been checked and released from the medical center. But somebody came in the pit road. Was that the 23? Yep, Stapleton's coming to pit road. I'm questioning why he's coming to pit road now when he could have came to pit road under the previous yellow. So, yeah, that's a questionable strategy that's not gone according to plan. And of course, the Mikosuki Dodges involving our first two yellows already caught up. And, a great run for Addison Peterson in the 94. Of course, we only see her in the truck series. She's having a quiet run here in the Busch series race today. So we have 26, and yep, they have pushed Brenda Eveling back behind the wall. A header has let go on her Chevrolet, and of course, she already failed to qualify for the Cup race, so her weekend is done just like that. The good news for Brenda Eveling, the gal that was trying to run her down for 31st did not qualify for this race. That would be Taylor Valley. I heard scraping. As Zach Foster's losing ground. And Courtney Lynn, who was like 20th when we had those first pit stops, already back in the top 5 just like that. Nathan Stapleton all the way back to 35th. So that pit gamble did not pay out in his favor. Will it pay in the favor for Rosalinda Masterson to go the rest of the way on the tire sheet, pit it back right around the midway point of this race? If that is the case, then I'm going to be scratching my head questioning that strategy by Quentin Moore and company. And Quentin, I believe, has led the most laps, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to look it up. But if Quentin can't make it on tires, and we're with 20 extra laps for the Cup race tomorrow, are we looking at possibly a 2-stop strategy? And that's a good thing for Ashlyn Wright. Yeah, she's not having herself a good run, but that's a good question. I think the other 41 drivers are going to ask her tomorrow afternoon before the drivers' meeting, is that, are we going to see a 2-stop strategy, even though you can make it on one pit stop for a tank of fuel? As here comes JJ Palmer. Looks like we're going to find out if this strategy was the right call or not on the 54. It's looking like it's not. And Summit Oskins in second. So it looks like the fresh tires are definitely playing a factor, and I think the 54 is paying the price for it. Because you can tell how slow the 54 is compared to the others that are on fresher Goodyear rubber. So I definitely am questioning why you stayed out on old tires. So I think the strategy is simple. I think you need to come get fresh tires. And I think that's what the Cup teams are thinking about tomorrow afternoon when we get ready for the Autism Speaks 400 here at Dover tomorrow afternoon, which we will go green at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And J.J. Palmer, by the way, becomes our third different leader. Ironically, our third different rookie to lead today. And while he's leading this race, I want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog team and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. So that's something I think we'll definitely talk about tomorrow afternoon. And I know staying up very late recording races like today, as I'm recording this, is not a good idea, but I just want to get as much of it done. I think I'm gonna let you guys know this now. As I'm recording this, I'm gonna take a week off so I can recover from this crap after I get the cup race done. So I won't be on my laptop for like a week while I'm recovering. So hopefully everybody's okay with that as I'm recording this. By the time you're watching this, I'd probably be already recovered from my little my little sickness or whatever as Kyle Langland's going another lap down. He is now 7 laps down as a result. Of course, Kyle Langland got into the wall early in the race with Zach Foster, and he's been off the pace since. That's Bora Park that the 33 is getting ready to lap. Lauren Grubius. There's J Bodine. Quentin Moore back up to 15th. Luna Farmer, last car on the lead lap in 26. And looks like Stapleton just came back to pit road again. Don't know if he did or not. No, he did not. It was flashing and I don't know why. Here comes Samad Ozkan in the 7. Oh, it was the 40. It was the 09 who came in. I'm sorry. And Ozkan will now be our 4th leader as we're down to 2 to go. And Luna Farmer is holding up the Old Spice Chevrolet. Yep, we got drivers coming to pit road. They cannot make it on fuel. That was Cervantes. Lot of drivers out of fuel in the late stages here at Dover. And we're coming to the white flag. Alex Winters can't make it on fuel. White flag for Samad Ozkan as fuel mileage has played a factor here at Dover. Look at all these drivers that had to come to pit road for fuel. This is really going to shuffle up the running order. And off of turn number 4, Samad Ozkan will win the Bet. The Bet Rivers 200 here at Dover. I was not expecting a fuel mileage race. Looks like Ellie Rose could not make it on fuel. A lot of drivers couldn't make it on fuel. Boy, and this is really going to shake up the points in the running order. I can tell you that for certainty. Standings are now official. But what a wild race here at Dover, just like that. J.J. Palmer will have to settle for second. This is still good points day for J.J. Palmer. Because if I look at the points between J.J. Palmer, as I need to go back to the previous race, thank you, phone. Palmer was 6th in points, so he's going to gain all those points he lost back. Emily Green will get 3rd. Emily came in this race 9th in the points. Remember, she went a lap down. That yellow came back out and saved her. And it saved her big time. Tula Tupola will get 4th. Excuse me. Tula will jump inside the top 10 in the points as a result. How about Addison Peterson? Had a quiet run. Gets a top 5 just like that. Good for her in that 94 on a part-time schedule. London Jackson will no doubt take the points lead from Ashlyn Wright as she finished in 6th. Marco Diaz, he got in the wall in the early stages of this race and battled back for a nice top 10 result in 7th. He was making his 4th start of the year, so he's going to climb his way through the points. K Amirmoez, I believe, will be 2nd in points as he finished in 8th or 3rd. Palmer, I think, will be 2nd because he led a lap. But nevertheless, good result for Amirmoez. Callie Springer, Abigail Stone will complete your top 10. Callie was 15th in the points. This will climb her up through the standings. And Abigail Stone, this is going to put her in the top 10 of the points as a result of of this race. So, well-needed run from her. Courtney Lynn, Daniel Gitiroyk, Dylan Ebrahimian, Marcus Sillers, Jake Littletown were your top 15. Quentin Moore had this race won, but then lost a lot of spots on the pit stops. He'll have to settle for 16th. Ari Springer was the last car that made on fuel. Everybody else ran out of fuel. Morgan Le Fay, Ebony Mermuez, Xavier Allstop, top 20. 19 drivers finished on the lead lap. And then a lot of these drivers got trapped a lap down from that first caution of the race. that really shook up this race and shook up the running order. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, Nathan Stapleton 26. I definitely am questioning that pitch strategy of why he and the 54 stayed out on old tires, and that came back to haunt him. Looks like the 54 had to make a pit stop in the closing stages. They were the leaders when we went back to green. Not a good run for Jamie Bodine. Tough break for Maisie Creighton. Was running inside the top 10 for most of the first half of this race. And then that pitch strategy really screwed her big time, but she's probably disappointed with that. Ashlyn Wright will not be the points leader. Bora Park, another dismal day for Bora. So 2 weeks in a row, she's had troubles, and she's going to continue to free fall through the points. I don't know where this is going to situate her. Kyle Langland and Zach Foster were off the pace. Same with Phelan Bradley, as we worked 2 cautions in this race, and only 2 drivers did not reach the conclusion of races. Brenda Eveling, due to a header issue, will finish in 41st, and Tyler Ware, who got turned on the back straightaway and didn't bring out the yellow, he will finish in the 42nd position. So that is definitely how this race is going to end for the Busch Series, but I can tell you Dover played its part in a point shakeup. But congratulations to Summit Ozkan on winning the Dover race here, taking the Bet Rivers 200 here at Dover International Raceway. I hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your point standings are down in the description as a result of these jumbled up results. Heading into next week at Darlington. We got one more race to finish up this race weekend. Tomorrow afternoon at 1, it's the Cup Drivers race here at Dover, the Autism Speaks 400, before we have our final race of the first half of the season. Trucks, Busch, and Cup coming your way from Darlington Raceway. I'm going to go get some rest and recover from my little sickness. For my studio engineer, Caleb Hobbs, I'm Dean DeVos. Thank you for joining me and saying good night from Dover International Speedway. We congratulate Summit Ozkan on his first career Busch Series win of his career and of the season. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.